Hey y'all, Akawaha Boy Rocks here. I'm loaded up in my no AC, no radio, 90s model Dodge truck to go equipment hounding at 6:30 a.m. on my day off. Sometimes people talk about how lucky I am to have the different equipment I have, and I'll agree. I am lucky to have a full lap shop without having too much money invested. But when I show it, you'll see some rust and a lot of mud and dings and dents on my equipment. It's anything but new. And the way I do that, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, word of mouth, and a lot of time and adventures invested in going and get it. So today there's a Facebook Marketplace ad for some Lapidary saws for I think $15 or $20 a piece. Craftsman table saw, pretty cheap. One of my employees is looking for one of those, so I'll probably grab it too. And a giant rock tumbler that I absolutely do not need, but I'm almost willing to make this trip just to see the thing. So I'm going to take you along and we're going to go on an adventure. Could be a bust, could be a screaming, unbelievable good deal. So let's go check it out. So forgive me for not letting you see the adventure of going through the stuff and loading all of this equipment that I bought onto the truck. I did not have this gentleman's permission to video his property, but suffice to say he had about a 55-foot semi-truck trailer full of all manner of good stuff that would be interesting to a hoarder such as myself. But I loaded up one pickup truck load worth of stuff, which you will see right now. Okay, I'm leaving Brooksville, Florida. The cab's full of stuff. I don't know if you can see back in the back. It's full of stuff, and I'm $200 lighter, so we'll go through all this stuff when we get to Ocala. Alright, what you're looking at here is yesterday's trip to Brooksville, Florida. Got it kind of spread out here. Some of it I haven't even gone through. Some of it's on the hood of my old truck over here. So let's go through some of this. Now as I'm going through it, if I mention the price or have mentioned the price, I gave this person exactly what they asked for it all. They knew what they had and what new stuff costs, but they needed to get rid of it, so I gave them what they're asking. So there's several boxes of hodgepodge in here, trash. I believe this was some kind of homemade either flat lap or faceting machine at some point, but what made me throw it in was there's several pulleys in here, and I have a Graves faceting machine. I don't have any of these, so if these will fit with my Graves, I can actually start using it. And there's just stuff and stuff and stuff. And all these dops. Some kind of wire, never seen that before in my life. Diamond paste, stop wax, I mean just stuff and stuff and stuff in these boxes. So now we're over to the flat lap pretty decent homemade flat lap here. But if nothing else, it's a motor with a switch on it. That's always worth bringing home. And then we've got, I hadn't even gotten into some of this stuff, but rust preventing water coolant mix. I didn't actually even know that was a thing, but I've got a lot of it now. This, I think, is some kind of older tumbler kit for kids with grits in it. Who knows? Just, again, just stuff and stuff and stuff in these boxes. Old tumbler here. Pause you for a second. I want to get the lid off that jug and get in here. This was evidently the last batch of rocks this person tried to tumble. This was kind of an estate lot. Somebody had died. His son, who sold me this stuff, was not a young man, and what's here was what was left after his daughter had taken the machines that she wanted. So now into the more interesting stuff. Got a little trim saw here. This is if you can see that, this is a Star Diamond trim saw. Little 6-incher, no motor, but that can be remedied. And then this big blue behemoth, I've never had one of these before, but this is a dedicated buffer. I'm going to set that up and try and use it. It's got an air filter and a blower motor in here to keep all the gunk headed away from you. So that's very cool. This is not lapidary, but it'll come in handy. This is a giant metal cutoff saw. This accounted for close to half of what I paid for everything. And then there's no tumbler to go with this, but I have a tumbler to go with it. It didn't have any barrels. So I've got a big tumbler barrel. This is not silicon carbide. This is some other kind of like polishing wheel. And then a thing for a vibratory tumbler. And then buckets of wheels, a resin disc, silicon carbide. I'm guessing these are for the flat lap, all bundled together. I haven't looked through this stuff even. There's another resin. Grinding wheels. I don't need to buy silicon carbide discs for a while. And then looks like we've got a backing disc for a flat lap. And we've got expandable drums. Pause you a minute. So obviously these are not new, but I think they'll still work. And what I paid for all this stuff would be less than the new price of these 4 drums. I don't have any experience with this type of expandable drum, Lorton with the metal core there. I'm really clueless on that. I guess the expandable part is inside that rim. Then moving around here, we have a Star Arbor. Excited about that. It has a motor on it already and a belt. Just needs to be hooked to water. And it does turn, so I know we're serviceable at least. I have a Lorton that's similar, and I love the little two-wheeled units. I have a friend who was interested in getting into Lapidary but doesn't have much money to spend on it or space, so I may set this one up with one expandable drum and one silicon carbide and pass it along. Over here we've got just some kind of display stand with a motor and a Lorton saw. I think this is an 8-inch. So, of course, all this stuff is rusty, but it's all going to be serviceable. So, excited about that. And then this is the first time I've looked through this. Brushes, maybe aluminum oxide, more powders, some sort of tumbling media. Ooh, here's a relic. The old blue Walmart bag. More powder of some sort. Oh, it's all over me. I better go wash that off pretty soon. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, so anyway, lots and lots of stuff. Bunch of little Dremel bits. Oh, didn't mention the display cases down here. So, a lot of times you get these lots, you gotta take a bunch of stuff you don't need, but you gotta figure I got a little tumbler I don't need, but it's kind of cool that it came with the man's last batch of rocks that he probably had through the first or second stage. Got a saw that's definitely usable. Got a great big saw. The motor's probably worth the whole price I paid for everything. Got the lap wheels. Got the other saw over here. So it's well worth the trip. Now I just have to whittle down what of all this extraneous stuff I don't need. Like that'll definitely get kept probably without the case just because it's got the motor on it. And I've been interested in having a flat lap to see if that would be a good way to smooth down some of my flat stuff, and then at least pull all this stuck type of stuff out of here and see if it'll work with my Graves machine. Oh, apologies for the abrupt cutoff. I referenced in one of my videos from out west that I had gotten a call for a family emergency that I had to go deal with. So that is when I got that call doing that video. So anyway, you saw all the stuff and got a little bit of an idea of what it's like to load up, go off to another town, and just come back with whatever was in the estate lot. And I'm still kind of going through some of that stuff. Not really using much of anything from that trip yet, but I hope to real soon. So I will see you next time.